here right now, because then you lock. Boom! Boom, baby! Look at that. Cataclysm. What is the Olaf supposed to do if he doesn't have flash? He's just... He can Ragnarok, but he can't Ragnarok his way through hard terrain.
Yeah. And it's so good against the Ziggs as well. Kai'Sa will have a better time getting out of the Cataclysm combo with the heroic entrance, but it does mean that Ziggs, Radiance, one of the key players of MBR, is gonna have a really hard time in these team fights. I don't like that MBR showed their flex so early by picking the Kai'Sa in the 2-3 rotation, but Team Secret as well, they are revealing their hand, they're showing their hand here. It's gonna be a trash bottom lane and a Galio mid, but I'm quite curious what marksman they pick up here in the last pick, and why Team Secret dropped it all the way to 5 pick.
Yeah, it is going to be a little bit confusing over here. I'm wondering exactly how this is going to round out. But on the side of MBR, I am quite worried.
They're playing Vayne. They're playing Vayne.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a Vayne angle. I think that's the only reason why they would drop their marksman to 5 pick, and it should be Vayne.
As we wait.
There's nothing else. It doesn't make sense
Bated
otherwise.
breath.
Nah, come on. I'm disappointed.
We're so ready. You know, I think Vayne could work in this if it's not Olaf, because your one disengage spell in Condemn unfortunately doesn't do anything. Now, if you set up the Cataclysm and then you Condemn into it, that could have been hot, right? But
that is
they didn't think that far. Yeah, they didn't think that far ahead. They just want to say, you know what, my Condemn, if my Jarvan is not near me to get the Cataclysm down, then I just have to rely on being able to buy as much space. And Relentless Pursuit gives a little bit more dash than the Tumble does for Vayne, and you can always engage in fights with being at long range. As long as going into this potentially last game, you need to make sure that they are still playing, you know, fully without complacency, because if you get complacent now, that's where a momentum shift could be huge for MBR.
Absolutely, and Team Secret, they shouldn't throw away the shot, and MBR Esports, they need to remember who exactly they are as we head into Game 3 of this Best of 5 series. Casters, over to you guys.
Thank you a lot, Mika. Team Secret out here leading the race, leading the pack, but MBR Esports have stuck their foot out and here to trip them up as we go into the final game, or not final game, the match point for Team Secret. Many more of MBR win this.
Whoa, some bias there. Bias caster.
I'm just saying it, TJ.
All right. Yeah, final game, maybe. Team Secret,
maybe.
I actually think, I'll tell you what, Grandin, I actually like this draft more for MBR than I have any of their previous drafts. And I'll tell you why. It's because of exactly what Omo was talking about on the desk, because they are playing a little bit more, I think, to the identity that got them here in playoffs. They need to show some skirmishing with this roster. They need to survive the early game where Team Secret are trying to land a knockout punch. But if they can do that, and the shadows, the 4 shadows boosts in chat they're so famous for running, would be critical to doing this, then I honestly think they should win this game, kind of past the 10-minute mark.
And we look at this 10-minute timer, but Team Secret, I mean, they have a composition that just seems so good at jumping on MBR.
Oh, yeah. This early game is just going to be Team Secret trying to shove them to the ground and land the finishing blow on this series. They have so much aggression. You look at running Jarvan Galio as your kind of mid-jungle duo, and all that's going to do is go in.
And we start to see a little bit of skirmishing already. MBR versus Team Secret in the mid side. Elvis is there as well, as mentioned against Trevor. Both summoners burnt by Tatsuri, though.
Yep. Continuing to attempt to threaten this mid side. Azur doing exactly the same up top.
Takes the Ignite away. I mean, no barrier in the mid lane. Elvis might fall here. Treble's the one that claims the kill. Radiance, he jumps on the Honey Fruit. One more attack with the red buff burning away. It's a double kill for the jungler of Team Secret.
And Azur gets one as well in the top lane. And MBR, I said they needed to last till the 10-minute mark. This is why that's hard. Because everything that Team Secret have brought to bear is here to shove you out of lane in the first 5 minutes. And you see that happening across the map. Yes, kills in top and mid, but also earlier had to blow both summoners and recall after an engage down bottom went awry.
I mean, looking at the Skull Crab right now, it just feels like Elvis is so far behind you, TJ. He's only grabbing his blue buff now, 2.5 minutes in.
He had to spend so much time shadowing the play in mid, and then he died for it. Oh dear.
This is the maximum counter, the ultimate counter, the Cataclysm. The Ragnarok doesn't get you out of it.
No, you're just a very angry man inside of a pit. And that's not better, Grandin. I've been that man. It's not a good place to be.
Oh, that's unfortunate, TJ, and it's so punishing to Elvis. He just respawned, came back up, got the buff, and he's gone down again. Hammez gonna rotate down to the bottom end. The dot passage gonna come across. They find decent damage back onto the Kai'Sa. Remember, no summoner spells means no chance to get away. The Ignite takes him down low, but Ayalure will survive for now. Tatsuri, the first to fall. It's a Culling. The full barrage unloaded onto MBR. But Chewie, unfortunately, no backup for the rest of his team. Is gonna get caught by the Aqua Prison. The Apprehend comes across. Chewie looking low. Beautiful flay away, and Chewie's still alive. But not for long.
Gone.
Onion King comes in for the dunk.
And that was actually stolen away from him, so the kill still goes over. And MBR respond to Team Secret the way you have to. If a team is trying to bully you out of the game in the first 5 minutes of the game, you can't sit back and play defensive into that. You will always lose, because they're not playing by standard rules. They're not trying to catch waves. They will always have more players in any given skirmish. So the way you have to respond, if a team is ignoring lane states and just trying to get kills, is you have to play just as aggressive in response. You have to sharpen lane in response as 4, 5 players, and that's exactly what MBR do. It earns them a team fight, and it earns them another couple of minutes on the clock. They're racing towards this 10-minute mark when they get their first and second items, when they start coming online in this game.
MBR have kicked things up to a 10, but Team Secret are back with the Cataclysm with the heroic entrance, and Azar coming in clutch is going to take down Elvis, force him off the Rift Tower to secure it for themselves. Team Secret with those big key ultimates.
I do not know how Alves survived that fight, but it's also a highlight of the fact that MBR can't really fight right now. They are behind, and I approve of them trying to contest things, but they need to be so quick about pulling the plug on engagements. And to their credit, that's what we see there, Grandin. As soon as they realize they're not going to get that Rift Herald, they don't hang around, they turn tail, and they run. And that is the right call.
I mean, just seems like such great setup from Team Secret, and they had committed a couple of ultimates in the bottom side, but the big ones were still available for them.
Yeah, the big ultis are still available for all these fights, and so many of these early game characters are just so effective during early game skirmishes. Like, Galio is just incredible during early fights because there's no real answer to the taunt, and HP bars aren't big enough that you can survive getting taunted. So he's just incredible. Everyone's getting taunted, everyone's getting cataclysmed. Nobody can survive any of that CC because they're all early game. And Team Secret are getting their gold. They're landing punches during the first 5 minutes. MBR need to keep pace in terms of gold, and you can see that's going to be a very difficult proposition. There's several thousand gold down already. If they get this top turret in response, it's all right for them.
Yeah, but you better have Team Secret's money. Azar's coming in, and well, he's been having a good series and a good showing for us overall. Questions were raised about how Azar is going to perform in playoffs. We've had the opportunity to talk to them before, and they were a little bit off form going into the group stage. But playoffs, Team Secret looking so much better. They have been in control for the past 2 games. This third one, like you mentioned, MBR Esports have found similar form to what we saw from them before, but Team Secret are still responding very well in the lead.
Yeah, I do want to be careful that we don't paint this as Team Secret running away from this game. It is very good that they're being this aggressive. I love seeing this look from Team Secret. This is very fun, Wild Rift. But the entire top side of their map is going to struggle to do damage. Really, their entire team really is going to struggle to do damage compared to Kai'Sa Ziggs in the late game. So you can't really paint this as this game just being over. You have to kind of look at this as Team Secret earning the advantage they're supposed to earn during the early game. And the question really is it enough? Have they built enough runway that their plane can take off before the SUV that MBR are driving can catch up with the plane on the runway and force them to stay grounded?
Well, that's a pretty nice analogy there, TJ.
Yeah, it's got
like
visuals.
That one. Yeah, very visual there. What's the mileage per gallon that I get from this SUV, by the way?
It's actually all electric because they care about the environment.
That's amazing. Team Secret, you heard it here first. Not only are here to win this series, they're going to do it in an environmentally friendly way as well. As Trevor has been able to be so proactive on the map, I really like this form that we've seen from him. He's been able to also go for a more aggressive build in the process. You see him get this Black Cleaver, and he's quite tanky, but he's also able to be quite the threat to Radiance and Ayalure.
Yeah, which is what they need to do. The reason you go for a Black Cleaver build here is because these first opening moments...
Oh, what a hook! Beautiful catch on the marksman on the E carry. Galley gonna join back into the fight, gives them the AP damage shield, and jumping on the Onion King now pulls him away with the taunt. You have to watch out for the Ziggs damage though, but still a little bit too early. Azar flashes in, but will fall to MBR Esports.
And Azar getting over aggressive there, but it's understandable why. If Team Secret don't break that mid turret, it's very easy for MBR to hold, to freeze. Ooh.
I mean, there's nothing much more to be said, TJ. Just a beautiful turnaround. It looks like a U-turn junction because Team Secret go right back onto Elvis.
I didn't realize planes could turn like that, but it's going the other way down the runway now.
No, TJ, this is Team Secret is the electric car here. They get to turn around.
Oh, I didn't realize that. So this mid turret is like really important right now because if Team Secret can break this mid turret, then there's no real way for MBR to have enough map control to hold on to their own jungle camps. And we saw that happen during the last series. We saw that happen during the last game, where the second that mid turret falls, the second that Team Secret can just run through the jungle of MBR and clear out all their camps, the gold lead is just going to balloon. It's just going to be an astronomical difference. And it's already pretty bad, but it's still within striking distance for MBR. They can still reach their goals here. If they lose that mid turret, the game is pretty much over.
And it's only exasperated by what we're seeing right now, TJ. The fact that MBR are still this close to the Dragon because that mid lane turret is up wouldn't even be the case if it were to go down. And so Team Secret, I mean, while in this case we do see them go uncontested with this Cloud Drake, you have to wonder if MBR Esports lose that outer tier turret in the mid lane if they're going to be in the same position to contest for these neutral objectives.
Yeah. Okay, so turret gets traded here. Watch Radiance though.
Oh, you have to be careful about this. Ziggs gonna flash away. Also drops the satchel charge. Only really has to commit one, but he does get the safety though.
And he's going to spend the Mega Inferno Bomb there just to clear wave. Because again, the thing that is most important is that this turret stays up. And if they, they probably don't take the turret on that wave, but if they can get under the turret and do, 200, 300 more damage to it, that turret's basically dead the next time someone walks up and tickles it. So, very important that he clears that wave. Doesn't feel entirely confident doing it with spells, doing it by stepping up, given that his flash is down, given that he's already taken some hits. So Radiance opts just Mega Inferno Bomb the wave and reset. Very good play by MBR. You can tell they're aware of all these things we're talking about on the broadcast, and they're thinking very proactively about how to build their game from here.
And they have hit that 10-minute mark, the point where we were hoping to see Radiance and Iolair come online and really generate some damage for this team. It seems that MBR does have clear understanding of what they need to do. There was a few missteps in the early game, but since then, they've been able to hold on very well here, make sure to just clear the waves and not give Team Secret too many things they can go for.
Yeah, and the reason why the 10-minute mark is important is because this is around the time that Radiance is going to start shopping for his second item. He should have already completed the Luden's Echo, and we're going to start looking for... there's the boots. We're going to start looking for Rabadon's Death Cap. Uh-oh. Chewie, are you going to try and do this? He's force rushing the wave. He's just going to burn through this wave. Can he get underneath the turret? I think we're fine.
Yeah, Radiance is still there, so it's going to be difficult. And Elvis, he's stepping up aggressive here. I'm not quite sure they want to go for this, but they do. Team Secret's going to get collapsed on. Night Cataclysm to lock in 4 in the pit. Make sure they're all held in place, but the Aqua Prison going to do a good job. Onion King soaking up so much damage from the Zan in the process. Unfortunately, will still fall. The Ribbon jumps back onto Iron Lil with the flashback into the mid lane, facing off against Chewie in the mid side as well. They have to be careful. Damage source coming in from 2 fronts. MBR backs against the wall in between 2 turrets. Hames still going in aggressively, but a massive Aqua Prison onto 3 is stopping Team Secret, but not long enough.
But the turret falls, and you can see MBR starting to come online damage-wise. You can see what I'm talking up. The presence of the Luden's Echo on that Ziggs, the presence of Arlier completing his first item, just really coming online there, and Team Secret taking some serious hits, but it wasn't quite enough. MBR weren't quite there. And so instead of what they were hoping for which is a 5-on-3 team fight that turns their way, you get the heroic entrance in. Chewie takes no damage against an entire ultimate into this fray. And even though there's a pretty heroic effort from Onion King, his Gargoyle's Stoneplate, the reason he can tank so much of that, they have to fall behind this turret to survive. And Chewie, who very clearly knows what he has to do, doesn't even attempt to team fight. Just forces the wave clear here, walks past the turret, then starts fighting. But the main point is, get that wave underneath the turret, get that conversion on the mid turret, and now you can see what the consequence of that is Team Secret are able to start stealing away buffs, able to start pressuring MBR for their jungle camps, and that makes it so hard for MBR to stay in this game because they're just losing a third of their gold revenue.
Losing control of the jungle, losing control of the mid lane, and with Dragon coming up in about half a minute, it's something for MBR Esports to watch out for. The third one potentially online for Team Secret. And with Baron in their midst, I mean, Chewy, he's not the fastest Baron taker, but he's not a slow one either. Team Secret have this opportunity if MBR don't step up to get information, to get vision, and it's so risky for them to do that.
I think Team Secret are a little scared of just starting the Baron. I think they're going to want to pick before they do that, just because you're playing into a Ziggs, you're playing into an Olaf who's very good at running into pits.
Maybe this is it. I mean, no flash available for Elvis, so they're just gonna jump in and looking to take down the jungler first. Maybe go on Onion King as well, but frankly, they've already taken down the critical pick they wanted.
Yeah, just turn on to Baron from this because the jungler is gone. There's no real way for MBR to steal this. They're still scared. It's really scary. Here we go.
Okay. They jump on the Onion King. That's the taunt. That's the damage. Iolure still trying to do his best, but the culling comes across. It's the full magazine unloaded in his face, and he's gonna fall, and the Baron is right there for Team Secret.
And it's the same play twice in a row. Team Secret fake the Baron, and MBR have no vision. They didn't get the Rift Scuttler. They don't have any wards, so the only thing they can do is walk face first into the bush and see what's going on. And what's going on is that Team Secret are waiting for them to do exactly that, and they unload. Full engage as this team has. The early game team fighting presence that this team has lands to maximum effectiveness, and they shut down MBR, win the Baron fight off Baron. And at this point, it is very difficult for MBR to win this game with a 10k gold lead, with their mid-turret gone, with Team Secret bearing down with the Baron. I would say it is Team Secret's game to lose. They should be able to close out the series here.
So we're watching the Team Secret if they're able to close out decisively before Iolure and Radiance are able to get any more damage. And you were mentioning earlier, TJ, that we were hoping to see the Luden's Echo from Radiance. Instead, he's gone for the Rod of Ages. How do you feel like this has impacted the game?
It's actually very interesting. I do wish we'd spotted that earlier, but yeah, so Rod of Ages is a clear skew towards scaling. It's a clear indication that MBR thought this game was going to go very long, which, spoiler alert, with retrospect, wasn't the greatest call. This game is not going very long. And Luden's Echo gives you a little bit more early damage as fights starting on Ziggs. It gives you a little more poke as Ziggs, because your first bomb into a team fight is always going to do a little bit more damage in wave clear. So I think it would have really benefited MBR here to have that.
Well, we're also looking at them collapsing in Onion King, perhaps. I mean, they've just made quick work of this. Oh, the damage from Tatsuri. He plays a mean mid-Galio. That's scary to watch. Azar just able to draw so much pressure as well. I mean, they have to worry about mid lane, top lane, bot lane, every lane in this game. You have to watch out for. Elvis pumps the Ragnarok. This Team Secret have crashed in the Baron lane minion wave. They're now moving on to this bomb side, and everything is there for them to claim.
And what do you do as MBR? Well, you hope for a miracle. You try and find something with the Nami bubbles that have been on point all series. This Tobu has been landing the CC, and maybe that turns into a play that can save the game. But Team Secret aren't taking any risks. They don't force over aggressive. They say, okay, we've just gotten so much gold in our bank accounts. It was Christmas. We got a check from our rich aunt who lives in the city. We're going to go back to base. We're going to spend that money. We're going to get some new coats, some cool outfits. We're going to come back with the drip, and they're going to close out this game with a dominant gold advantage. You can see now in their inventory. There's just no way for MBR to fair team fight them. And Team Secret, kind of taking a page out of Flash Wolves' notebook, aren't giving them even the slightest chance.
And MBR Esports have deviated slightly away from some of the tech that we've seen from them before. I mean, the Twin Shadow is no longer an option for them. They've only got that one on Tobu. And I have to say, this Nami has impressed me, but unfortunately is not going to be enough, as the third dragon will go over the Team Secret and minion waves crashing in from every lane.
And I think maybe if this game kind of goes as MBR wanted to, if they get a little bit more of those early skirmishes, if they hold their turrets, if they kind of survive the first 10 minutes a little bit better,
sure,
we see more of the shadows. But the shadows are fundamentally only useful if you're playing a relatively even game. And if you're not, if you're just trying to survive a team with superior damage, then something like Stoneplate or Zhonya's is always going to be more value for money, because it lets you dodge a disproportionate amount of the damage, right?
Absolutely. Team Secret now positioning and posturing around the Baron. I mean, this was the key defining moment, in my opinion, that won Team Secret that mid-game skirmish when they started playing around the Baron. This is it. Team Secret's just gonna go directly on it. Gonna take this one quickly. James is buying so much time as he wait for Tatsuri to jump in as well. Looking to take down Radiance. Look at the damage coming across the Justice Punch, and the rest of Team Secret collapsing in. It's a double kill for Tatsuri, who's bought enough time for the rest of his team to come in as well. It's just down to Elvis, but he's not gonna be enough. Not in the face of Team Secret, who are here to play, who are in playoffs form. It's 4 dead and Team Secret are on the victory march. I mean, what more can I say, TJ? Team Secret with a 3-0 win.
And that'll knock MBR down to the lower bracket as Team Secret demonstrates some of the potential we were looking for earlier in this tournament. Some of the potential that was seen in the Summer Super Cup, that was